Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Sean Huggins and this is Europe with Hugs. Thank you so much for being here. Today, we are taking a look at Finland's military. Damn, look at these guys. Finland's military is now a NATO superpower. Oh, damn. I mean, look at these guys. They look like a freaking superpower. They look cool. I think that's half the battle. No pun intended. But I'm excited to take a closer look at Finland's military. But real quick, before we get into that, if you haven't already, then please consider subscribing, leaving a like, leaving a comment down in the comment section. All that good stuff to boost engagement, help the channel grow, all that. You guys know the deal. Anyways, let's waste no more time yapping and hop into it. Let's see what you got, Finland.
Finland, the land of 1,000 lakes, the northern lights, and some of the toughest soldiers on the planet. If you think Finland is just about reindeer and saunas, think again. This small Nordic nation has one of the most effective and well-prepared military forces in Europe. And with NATO backing them up now, they're not just defending their backyard, they're making sure nobody dares to step foot on it. So let's break down Finland's military power as it stands today. And trust me, you'll want them on your side in a fight. First off, Finland doesn't mess around when it comes to defense. Unlike some countries that rely on a small professional army, Finland takes a different approach, total defense. This means if war ever breaks out, the entire country is getting involved. Every road, every forest, every frozen lake could become a battlefield. Every citizen is part of the national security effort. And it's not just soldiers who are trained for war. The entire society is built on a structure that can be transformed into a wartime operation when necessary. Civilian infrastructure, businesses, and even everyday services all have contingency plans for times of crisis. This level of preparedness is rare, and it's what makes Finland one of the hardest countries in the world to invade. And thanks to their mandatory conscription system, nearly every able-bodied adult has received military training.
Whoa, okay, first of all, that is crazy. I mean, that definitely goes a long way for just a society, you know, everybody being military trained. Whew, that's wild.
Each year, around 21,000 men and women go through rigorous training, learning survival skills, weapons handling, and combat tactics.
Only 21,000 people a year, though, for all of-age adults. That doesn't seem like a whole lot, though.
And once their service is over, they don't just walk away from the military. They remain part of the reserve force, receiving regular updates and refresher training to ensure that, even years after conscription, they can still fight if needed. Right now, Finland has around 900,000 trained reservists, meaning that if war were to break out, they could rapidly mobilize an army larger than many European nations combined. Think of it as a country where almost every citizen has at least a basic idea of how to fire a rifle and survive in harsh conditions. Also, let's be real. If you've survived a Finnish winter, an invading army is going to feel like a mild inconvenience. The Finns don't just endure the cold, they thrive in it. The backbone of Finland's defense is its army. While the standing force is relatively small, at around 23,000 active personnel.
Okay, not that many on paper. I mean, obviously the reserves is huge, but 23,000, not that many on paper.
The real power lies in its reserves. An estimated 280,000 can be mobilized immediately, with an additional 620,000 reservists available. And this isn't just a random collection of part-time soldiers. These are men and women who have gone through some of the toughest military training in Europe, ready to defend their homeland with everything they've got. Finland specializes in defensive warfare. They don't plan on attacking anyone, but if you try to invade, they'll make sure it's the worst decision you've ever made.
Okay, that makes sense. Why they have such a small standing force, but then the reserves are so great. It's all about defense. I like that. That makes sense to me. And I gotta say, it seems like they're doing it right. Also, look at these guys. They look badass as shit.
Tanks? Finland's got them. They operate around 200 German-made Leopard 2 tanks, primarily the Leopard 2A6, a beast of a machine that's built to withstand some serious punishment. These tanks are heavily armored and equipped with advanced targeting systems, making them perfect for countering any armored assault. For artillery, they're packing over 100 K9 Thunder self-propelled howitzers, powerful enough to make any enemy think twice about advancing. These modern artillery systems can fire rapid, precise strikes that make it nearly impossible for an opposing force to make a breakthrough. They also maintain more than 700 field artillery pieces, making Finland one of the most heavily armed countries in Europe when it comes to artillery firepower. And when it comes to infantry weapons, Finland has stocked up on javelins and NLAWs, because nothing says go home like a guided missile heading your way. They also have a massive stockpile of small arms, including RK-62 and RK-95 rifles, which are built to withstand Finland's extreme weather conditions.
Damn.
Finland has also invested in anti-drone technology and air defense systems to ensure that any invading force would struggle to gain air superiority.
Holy crap. I mean, it seems like Finland has thought about everything. They're on the defensive and they are playing it defensive, investing in all the right stuff in order to be a defensive powerhouse. Fascinating stuff here.
Every part of Finland's ground forces is built around making an enemy's life as difficult as possible, using terrain, strategy, and firepower to devastating effect. And let's not forget, these are people who will gladly sit in a frozen forest for hours, drinking coffee in complete silence. You do not want to test their patience. If you think waiting in line at a Finnish supermarket is intimidating, imagine facing them on the battlefield.
Oh, this is awesome.
Now let's talk about air power. Finland's air force may not be the biggest, but it's smart, modern, and extremely well trained. Right now, they operate 62 FA-18 Hornet fighter jets.
Okay.
Solid aircraft that can hold their own in a fight. These jets have been the center of Finland's air defense for years, and they've been continuously upgraded to keep them relevant in modern warfare. But Finland isn't stopping there. They've already placed orders for 64 F-35A Lightning II stealth fighters, which means in the coming years, their air force is about to become one of the most advanced in the region.
Whoa. Whoa.
The F-35 is a game changer, with stealth capabilities, advanced sensors, and the ability to integrate seamlessly with NATO forces.
Dude, it looks like a freaking transformer. This thing is crazy.
When these planes enter service, Finland will have a fleet that can challenge any potential threat in the skies. And let's not forget the advanced surface-to-air missile systems Finland has acquired, like the NASAMS and the Israeli David Sling system, ensuring that enemy aircraft and missiles never get too comfortable. And here's something cool. Finland's air force is trained to operate from highways. Yeah,
what?
They don't need fancy air bases to take off and land.
What, dude? Okay. These guys are super badass. This is awesome.
If a war breaks out and airfields get hit, Finnish pilots can just roll onto a highway, fire up their jets, and get back in the fight. That's some next-level planning right there, and it ensures that Finland's air force will never be completely grounded. Plus, this is a country where people genuinely enjoy driving in the snow for fun, so landing a jet on a highway probably feels like just another Tuesday. Now, let's talk about the game changer, Finland joining NATO. For years, Finland maintained a neutral stance, but with Russia's invasion of Ukraine, that changed real fast.
Okay.
They are ready to attack a neighboring country. If that would be the case that we join, well, my response would be that you caused this.
Now, as a full NATO member, Finland has access to top-tier intelligence, weapons, and most importantly, backup. If anyone dares to mess with Finland now, they're not just dealing with one country, they're dealing with an entire military alliance.
True.
Finland's integration into NATO means more joint exercises, more strategic coordination, and a stronger overall defense posture. They've also been working closely with Sweden, Norway, and the US in joint military exercises. This means Finland's forces aren't just trained to defend their own country. They're preparing to operate alongside some of the best militaries in the world. Finland's military power is a perfect example of quality over quantity. They might not have the largest army or the biggest fleet, but they have something just as important: a well-prepared, highly skilled, and fiercely determined force that's ready for anything. And now, with NATO in the picture, Finland has gone from a country that could defend itself to a country that's an essential part of European security. The message is clear. Finland isn't just ready for war, they've been preparing for it their entire existence.
Damn. Whew. Wow, that was spicy. I had no idea Finland was so badass, but now I do. And now I will not be messing with anybody from Finland anymore because they're all military trained. But actually though, very interesting video, very cool to see Finland's thought process behind being defensive and building up their defensive army and whatnot. Very cool information and respect to Finland. But I'm curious what you guys have to say about it. What do you think of Finland's military power? Do you think that they are a superpower? Are you as impressed with Finland's army as I am? I'm curious what you guys say, so let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. And when you're done there, consider subscribing, leaving a like, all that good stuff. You guys know the deal. But anyways, that's all the time that I have for today. So thank you guys so much for being here. And as always, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.